FunPop. FunPop.
And we are live. Hello, everybody. What's up? Thanks for listening or watching FunPop. This is episode I don't know what, and we're going to have an awesome time. This is going to be a shorter show for sure, because I haven't had a chance to play the Halo campaign yet, and I want to. So I'm sorry, but hey, in an hour and a half, I already have it scheduled. An hour and a half from now, I will be playing the Halo Infinite campaign here live on the channel. I already got a stream set up and everything, so you can check that out. So hope to see people there. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now, or anybody in the chat right now. I see BACfromthedead hanging out there. What's up, Bac? And as always on FunPop, we're joined by this amazing panel of Jasper Gaming, the realist. What's up, Jasper?
Hey, I just want to say I like this show too.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't go with what I mentioned to tell you. What I said
Oh
to
yeah,
go
can't say that one.
I'll say it for you when it's my turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for being here. As always. In case you guys don't know, like Jasper's referring to this when he was on Xbox Ultimate on Friday, and he was like, "I like this show," and I'm like, "Why, you don't like the other one that you're actually on, Jasper?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." Okay, but hey, it is what it is. Hey, shout out to Drawn TJ. Hey, Kate, love you, baby. Doom Reaper, what's up as well? How are y'all doing? And we also have, as always, the mellow fellow from outer space, the one and only Psychonauts. What's up, dude?
What's up? What's up, everybody? Banged your mom last night. No, just kidding.
Is that what you told him to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he didn't know. I was like, oh, fuck it. Say you just banged someone's mom. You know, that's what.
Oh,
get ready for
okay.
the
Yeah, you're
Halo multiplayer.
trying to help him with his intro game. Yeah, no, I like
Yeah.
Jasper. I like Jasper's intro game. He's kind of like, he's like, "Hi." And that's cool. You know what I mean? It's like uniquely Jasper, right? So that's what we want. We just want uniquely Jasper, right?
Right on. Yeah, I fucking donated today. Fucking. So, but one of the girls that works there, I was telling her that, that I'm on 2 podcasts, and I was telling her about it. She's like, my boyfriend loves comic book movies, so on, and Xbox. So
Yeah.
hopefully we have a new viewer.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Shout out to Tori if she's listening.
Yeah, everybody is playing Halo Infinite tonight, and rightfully so. You know, we, like I said, it'll be soon. So, but hey, guess what the topic is? Because I'm trying to trick the YouTube algorithm and send people this way. No, just kidding. You know what the topic is? It is Halo, but I want to talk about not the game as much. We're gonna dive into that. But tomorrow we're going to get the first full look at the Halo TV show that's going to be streaming on Paramount Plus. Showtime's biggest investment ever in a show, supposedly at the time that they kicked it off. And it is going to be a big deal. Now, we have talked about the show a couple times here on FunPop. Originally, when they announced the cast, and we also looked at the, we kind of like dove into like the pictures of some of the cast members and see how we thought they could fit and all this stuff. And then the other, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we got a little glimpse at the Halo, or not, at the Xbox 20th anniversary event. And we got a little short teaser there. And that teaser gave me so much freaking hope, man. That gave me so much hope. But they, today or yesterday, I think it was yesterday, we got another teaser ahead of the Game Awards tomorrow. And man, if they aren't nailing like these teasers, at least, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but like it seems like they're heading in the right direction, and I am super pumped for this trailer. Did you guys see the teaser?
Yeah,
I did.
Oh yes. I mean, you saw
Like,
it. I posted
10 times.
10 times. Yeah.
The 2 of the Spartan 2s that that were shown,
Yeah.
and they're new characters to the Spartan 2 family. So, I'm intrigued of where this story is going to go, because I was like, ooh, maybe we can get a glimpse and kind of know, is this blue team? And it wasn't blue team, of course.
No.
So
Yeah.
it's very interesting to see what timeline, where is this going to take place in the Halo universe. They did say it's not canon, the show. So
well, then it doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, they said they're respecting the game canon, but like what happens here doesn't necessarily matter. Like it isn't going to necessarily be reflected in the games, if that makes any sense, right? Like, I think what they're saying is they don't want the games to have to worry about this, right, in the future, but they're respecting the games when they're coming up with these stories and the books and all the current lore. So what's going to be interesting is to figure out what that means, like how they can tell some stories, because I think they will take liberties where they need to, right, for the sake of the story they're trying to tell, but still maybe subtle enough that like even the most decent hard Halo fans aren't going to really notice too much, right? We got a little look at the numbers, right? There was 2 Spartans shown in this teaser trailer, with some sick ass armor as well, and one of them was Vanak. I think that was 134, and then there was Kai, Kai, 125, and I could be getting the numbers in the Spartans switched. I'm not 100%, but
no, 125 is Kai.
Okay, so looking at Halopedia, right, as the Halo fan that I am, I don't know all the lore as much. Like I play the games, I've watched the stuff that's been on video, but I'm not a big book guy, and I kind of just like look this stuff up when stuff intrigues me, right? So, it seems like they were heavily involved because they're both, I think, Spartan 2s.
Yeah.
And so they're heavily involved with the with the Human Covenant War, right? So timeline wise, it would make sense, going along with the other teaser that we saw where Chief was with Cortana, that this falls somewhere between Halo CE and Halo 3. We just don't know exactly when. I'm thinking the earlier side of that. Thinking the earlier side of it.
End of CE, beginning of 2. Thinking Mubasa. We might see new Mubasa.
Well, in between that, he's in a spaceship going back to Earth, so there's plenty of time for him to go do side adventures.
Yeah, between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that because 2, that starts off with him getting like an award, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they had kind of celebrating what they accomplished, and then they get attacked in the beginning of Halo 2. So there's kind of like a certain level of calm, I think, after 1, where there was maybe some time, like you said, for them to go and do other stuff, right? Question is, what is it like? It's gonna be weird also playing Halo Infinite and having this all happen with Cortana, and then going back to the TV show, and then like reliving like early aspects of Chief and Cortana, but stuff we haven't seen before. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, maybe we get some new lore between Chief and Cortana, possibly.
They're gonna have sex. I'm just kidding.
No, it's just. I mean, it's definitely interesting because 2, Cortana stayed behind the Grey Mine, so we.
There's actually a 3rd Spartan in this. You just see a side view. I'm rewatching the trailer right now.
Is there a number?
Yeah.
It's just a side view. You can't see the number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it green armor?
I wonder if it's Chief.
It's. I mean, they all look gray.
Yeah.
They're black.
And
I was just trying to get.
Too, I'm wondering what ship that is at the beginning when they show all.
I was trying to
soldiers.
That's what I went back for. I was trying to see if it was like KhAoS Station or if it was a spaceship, or like trying to figure out where they were. But it's just hard to tell.
So do you think, like, I think you guys both are like have done more research into like some of the deeper lore, right, with Halo than I have. I mean, I know a lot, but like not as much as some hardcore Halo fans, right? So what kind of stories could they tell in a show like this? Like, how about you, Jasper? Like, what do you think? Like, what do you want to see? Like, what kind of stories do you want to see them tell?
It's tough because like, do they want to go like it's kind of explain like more of the recent game stuff and like go into more Forerunner like aspects, or do they want to kind of pull it back and like start people off fresh with like the Covenant like aspect? Because like when you think about it, the first 3 games don't really matter as much now because it's all about the Covenant.
Yeah,
And
and
now
they
we're
were
like
just like
all
a
the
small
Forerunners.
potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, where do they want to start and like bring in new like people to the Halo universe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to start with the Covenant. I think they're going to go
Yeah.
back, have people that are not familiar with the show or with the Halo universe, that might have just started with Halo 4, Halo 5, and really hasn't experienced 1, 2, and 3, and kind of let them know where the Journey Master Chief, came from. And with the show, they can just go back and they could do flashbacks with how Spartan 2s began with the human geno testing and the modifications that they got. So definitely interesting. They can go so many routes with at least with the TV show, because it doesn't always have to be action packed. It doesn't always have to be, they can tell a good story with what's happening, the events before the Covenant came to Earth, and if that's how they're going to start things off. And because a lot of these shows, sometimes they start off with this huge epic battle and then the flashback, and then the show technically starts off there,
Yeah.
and then leads up to where that flashback was, so it could be something like that too. Which anything Halo is a win for me, because
Yeah. And it's tough because like each like in the Halo universe, like a lot of planets that humans like are on, like there's ancient Forerunner artifacts like beneath the planet. That's why all the aliens keep attacking the human planets, because there's Forerunner artifacts there. So it's like, is there gonna have like some kind of underlying like mystery throughout the series to like build up like?
Yeah, and they could, tell the story of that too, because we kind of get it in the games a little bit, and really dive into that and why, the Covenant are attacking these planets. They can definitely touch on that, and that also be really, really neat. And we could get a planet that we never heard of in the game that they could be talking about and exploring in the show, and we're like, holy crap, this is something we just only read about. Now we're having a visual depiction of what we only read. So that's always a good thing, a great thing, but
yeah,
we'll see how they pull it off, because this was supposed to be on Showtime, and then they probably were like, not too many people have Showtime, so let's put it on Paramount Plus.
And they're like, not too many people have that, so they're like, we need to get people over there.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a big draw, right? For their, I think it's easier to draw people to something like Paramount Plus than it is to Showtime, right? So I think that's a big part of it, and also like it's more of a mainstream show, and if you put it on something like this I'm not gonna like trying to disrespect Showtime here, but like they're not HBO, right? Like
exactly.
They really didn't want to have to go out and buy Showtime.
Right. Like HBO's got so much other stuff to be interested in to like, and like if you put this on it just Showtime alone, I think it's gonna hurt the audience a little bit to where you're not gonna have as many people watch it. And if that's the only big draw, I'm not saying there's not other good shows on Showtime. I know there are people, right? But for a new audience, new people that they're trying to draw them in, this is all you got. Like it's not gonna sustain. People are gonna watch it and unsubscribe, right? So I'm curious how many seasons are gonna go into this, because like if they keep going, right, it's successful, right, and they keep going and keep going, I'm wondering, like, if at some point, like season 5, that's when the Prometheans come in. You know what I mean? Because you're right, they can't start with that stuff. You can't start with the Prometheans, Forerunners, Didact, all that crazy stuff, right?
You people are just like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
People just be so confused. Like it was confusing even for us that are like Halo fans trying to like decipher what all this stuff means and stuff. Like Guilty Spark and himself even was like, what the fuck is this thing? What is he talking about? So I think like it's going to be a show that's going to try and draw in the TV crowd to the Halo universe, right? Because they can't just think about the gamers. If they only think about the gamers, they're not really going to reach the audience that they want to pull in. So they got to think about everybody. And I think it's starting from almost ground zero, like from where we started learning about it, is the right move.
When I think about that, though, I think like maybe they're going to go like extra slow with the show, and like maybe by the end of this, like the first season, that's when we'll start seeing the Covenant. Like maybe like the first few episodes are like smaller, like human on human conflicts, or
that's true. That could be, because that's
to like slowly to slowly tell people like what's going on.
Yeah, ease people into the story, into Halo universe, the lore and everything. Slowly work them into it. This is what's going on. This is, there are factions here and there on these home planets, and and this is, and then because I don't know if you remember back, I want to say Halo 3, where they were doing those short episodic like clips, and they had the one where the people were fighting underground, and then they were hearing noises, and then all of a sudden you see they're like, oh my god, there's a Spartan that just came. I think 1 or 2 Spartans that were joining the fight because they knew what dangers was ahead, and I think it was some Covenant, and I think it ended with the Flood attacking them.
Yeah, could we see the Flood in this at some point, man? Yeah, dude, because that was like on the ring, right? Like that's where they discovered. So the show is called Halo. The ring's gonna show up at some point. I think in the middle of the season potentially. Or so. I don't know, man. Like it's gonna be interesting. Now the other thing, I was just looking at the other Spartan is a girl. It's a female. Because there's there's Kai, there's Vanak, and then there's another one. The other one is a female. The one that was we got a side view of.
2 females?
Yeah, so there's 2 females walking, and then in front of them is the male, right? And then I know that the sniper was I think it was Kai. Is that right? Is that the female?
125, yeah.
Yeah. So the sniper, she's holding the sniper walking, and then it shows her looking down the sniper scope at the last shot, right? So you get 2 female Spartans and a male Spartan. And I think we could probably find out who the cast is of those 2 people, because I think I remember seeing them on IMDb ways back when we were checking it out, and we saw like these names and these Spartans and stuff, right? So I'm going to do that right now. Halo.
While you're Googling that, I just want to say, I think their end goal with this TV show is to maybe create another like character that's like iconic for the Halo universe, so they can like try to like step back from the Chief stuff, because Steve Downes isn't going to be around forever.
Yeah. And I just want to say, like, it's really I like how they're using different variant armors with this
they're all
Halo
black
TV
though,
show.
which I'm not feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it could be like
a stealth operation. Yeah,
it could be a Oni. So, they could be a part of Oni group.
That's true.
That's kind of their MO, right?
I forget the name of the helmet that Spartan what is that, 134 is wearing.
I think that's EOD.
Yeah, I think that's it. It looks like almost like a motocross type helmet.
I mean, they all kind of look like motocross helmets, but
yeah. But and then 125 is like that
kind of more similar to Chief.
Yeah,
like a Halo 4 helmet.
4, possibly 5. Could be 5 because it has that just how that visor comes down a little bit. Looks like 5.
Okay, so this is
it's neat.
This is Kai. Kai 125 is Kate Kennedy. Put it up there. I don't know if I'm allowed to show IMDb.
To answer Doom Reaper's question, what about the story of Chief before Reach? This show takes place after that because we have Cortana, so that's like what we know. Like that's how we know the show's taking place after Reach is because we have Cortana.
Unless they show like that was a glimpse of at some point in the middle of the season, then we may get a little bit of Chief meeting Cortana for the first time. That's a possibility too, but all we know is the first teaser. They seemed like they've been together for a little while, right? Because of the way she was speaking to him. So Kate Kennedy is playing Kai 125, and she's a voice actress. Has been in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. She's been in Battlefield 5, World of Warcraft, Battle for Azeroth, Lego, Marvel Superhero. So she's a voice actress, and she's also been in like short films and stuff like that as well. So she's going to play Kai 125, and it looks like she's in most of the show. So that's cool.
You know what I would love real quick before is if we get like Sergeant Johnson. If we get him back. Hoorah!
Hey, who would play him though?
Oh,
Sergeant Avery Johnson. Who could play?
What's his name? Idris
Elba.
The guy that was yeah, that guy.
He could, but like I don't know if he has that like, hi everybody, you know, what's up, Marines?
Well, why don't you just get the guy that played Sergeant Johnson in the game, the voice actor?
Who was that Keith David too? Or Keith David did Arbiter?
Yeah, he's the Arbiter. I just looked up. It's David Scully. So I mean,
yeah,
he's a black dude, so it matches. I mean,
is Mulder there?
Maybe. There's Bentley Kalu is Vanek 134, and he is the guy out of those three. So he is, let's see, an actor and voice actor. It seems like they're going for like voice talent here because they're mainly in a mask. You know what I mean? Mainly in helmets and stuff. So motion cap, voice acting type people is what they're going after here. And cool, Bentley Kalu.
I mean, they also, if they take the helmet off, they don't have to like be the voice actor underneath it.
So the other Spartan that we saw, I bet, is Riz 028.
Yeah, that's the other one that was mentioned. I saw Riz, R-I-Z.
So she is played by Natasha Kolzak. This is her, and she is known for a TV series called Cursed, short films, another TV series, Christmas Carol. Played a character in The Strangers.
Here's an interesting point. The IMDb might be spoiling this, but they have a Captain Keys voice, a guy in here.
There's Miranda Keys.
Yeah, and there's Captain Keys.
Oh,
Captain Keys dies in Halo 1.
Yeah, at the end, right?
Maybe that's how he gets Cortana.
Well, Captain Keys dies because he gets taken over by the flood, and then you like go in and like punch him and put a grenade in him.
Yeah.
But Miranda Keys is also cast, and it's
that's his daughter.
It's a younger actress.
So that's definitely. So this is definitely Halo CE, Halo 2 then.
Yeah. So this is Miranda Keys. Her name is Olive Gray. And a big part of the show.
They have the prophets. They have the prophets in here too. Prophet Mercy and Prophet of Truth.
Ooh.
I mean, this is, to me, what's adding up here is this is following the events of Halo CE, but maybe from another perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Pablo Schreiber is Master Chief, and he's doing the voice acting as well, right? So they didn't go and get Steve Downs. So that's going to be the thing, right? When this man speaks as Master Chief, is it going to be believable? And that's going to be a hard thing, you know.
And if his voice is low, and little raspy like Master Chiefs.
They could also put filters over it too.
Yeah, if it's like close enough, it'll be okay. But if it's like, hey, I'm Master Chief, yeah, no, people are gonna just fans at least are gonna be like, nope, they're just gonna cancel the show. They're just no, we're done with it. If they totally botch his voice.
So back to Avery Johnson, I'm thinking like, man, if I was to say who would make the perfect casting, I would say Keith David. But he's got to play the. I want the Arbiter to be in like season 2, right? Yeah, if this ends at the end of season 1, right? Potentially. How many episodes does it say? I mean,
well,
there's
casting for 9 episodes on a lot of the people, so
right.
There's at least
what
9
about
episodes.
Captain Keys?
Well, he had 9 episodes under him too.
So so we know that he didn't die early on in the show if he's in 9 episodes, right? So
well, I mean, it was like halfway through the Halo 1 game,
right? So this is like takes place before halfway of Halo 1. If they're respecting the lore, this takes place. We've narrowed it down because of IMDb. Thank you, IMDb. This takes place. Hey, you've heard it here first, guys, on FunPop. Due to our brutal investigations and everything, we have determined that this game will take place.
This also isn't canon, so
no, between Halo, the beginning of Halo CE, and around when Captain Keys dies. It's got to be in that narrow package somewhere. Let's go. So you know what I mean?
So are we gonna get a Chief from Cryosleep, or are we gonna get Chief possibly prior to Cryosleep and whatever the events happened prior to Halo CE? Maybe it does tap into where Chief was during Reach and then started off, and then we get Cortana like midway or towards the end of the season, and then the Covenant, that whole battle during that when Chief gets Cortana, maybe that's how they're gonna end it.
Yeah, maybe. Guys, I thought of another perfect casting for Avery Johnson. Hear me out, okay? As a Mavericks fan, I'm very, very familiar with this person, okay? He was a player for the Mavericks. He played for the Spurs. He also coached for the Mavericks. He also was a coach at other places too. None other than Avery Johnson.
Ooh.
Avery Johnson should play Avery Johnson. He was a coach. He knows how to command a squad. You know what I mean? He has got this like, he's got an interesting voice and stuff, as like Avery Johnson does. He's kind of talks all funny, but his voice is a little lower than Sergeant Johnson's. But maybe he could like kind of it up a little bit and cast Avery Johnson to play Avery Johnson. That would be great, right? For those of you that don't know who Avery Johnson is, this is Avery Johnson. I mean, it kind of looks like Avery Johnson. Does Avery Johnson look like Avery Johnson? I mean, the actors think that like don't necessarily have to look like the actors either. You know what I mean? Because like it's gonna be too hard if that's the main point of the casting. But I would say Avery Johnson looks like Avery Johnson, and he's got a crazy voice. So I think, hey, make it work.
I think this is gonna be way before Halo 1, because looking at the IMDb, I think we missed 2 important characters on there. Young John is in 6 episodes, and John's mother is in 4 episodes.
So there's gonna be like
a lot of flashbacks.
There's gonna be flashback stuff talking about how like the whole thing happened. Is Halsey cast?
Halsey's in there,
right? Yep. Okay.
So
is there a young Halsey and an old Halsey? I want to know that.
Well, they could just age.
Yeah, they can do that now.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man, they make him look like he was 20. It was really weird. That Iron Man 3, I did that. Okay.
But
you got something else, Jasper?
No, I was just saying that like. So I think we're probably going to see like the birth of the Spartan program with this. Like, it's going to be a slow burn. Like, we'll probably see the Covenant at the end of the show.
Yeah.
I think the first like 90% of the show is just going to be human conflict and not like aliens.
Yeah, it's possible. You know, I think, okay, what if they go and like show a lot of the kids stuff, like the Spartans as kids, and then also show them on a mission. You know what I mean? And then it's like telling two stories. You know, I think
that's true. It could have a and B plot there.
I think with the CE stuff though, like there's so many Halo CE characters that are cast in this. You know what I mean? And so it's got to follow a primary plot of that at somewhere at some level. It's gonna be interesting. I can't wait for it. But here's the other thing I wanted to mention, guys. Okay, so friend of the show, he got to do a lot of shows with him when I was doing 4GQ TV. Is Paris Lockhart, and he is he runs a Marvel Facebook fan page. It's huge, but he also works for Xbox, right? So he's a fan of like pop culture, movies, geek culture stuff, but he also works for Xbox. He posted a tweet. Okay, posted a tweet that was like made me just kind of look a little bit, and it said, what did it say? I shared it with you guys. Hold on, I want to make sure I word it properly. Again, this tweet is public domain, so hey, don't yell at me if this means nothing. Okay.
Rabble.
But he said, okay, hold on. Here it is. Almost here it is. He said, man,
it's right here.
We DM a lot. We DM too much. Okay, he said, the HCU, the Halo Cinematic Universe, starts now. Let's go. Okay. So I'm looking at that. I'm thinking, did this man that just works for Xbox just say Halo Cinematic Universe? You know,
but he doesn't work in the TV department, does he?
No, he works on the xCloud team. He works on the xCloud team. His title is. And shout out to Paris if you end up listening to that. This could mean nothing. He could just be like excited, saying, "Hey, HCU," you know, he's a fan too. But he's a senior program manager at Xbox working on xCloud. So he knows things. You know, he does hear things, right? To say HCU, have they ever confirmed like a Halo Cinematic Universe before?
No. I mean, they always cancel their Halo shows after the first season.
Yeah, they do like little things here and there, like the what is it, Forward Unto Dawn?
Yeah.
And other little things that here and there that we all like just
Halo
want
Nightfall,
a Halo TV show, and they just give us these little short like mini series, you know, things like that. But
so I'm thinking that like maybe we'll try to do like what Mandalorian does, where like Mandalorian started off and then it like introduced Boba Fett again, and now they're doing the Boba Fett show. So like maybe they're gonna start like splitting off characters as they introduce them. Like so like maybe this like first season is gonna be like about John and his team, and then like maybe the next season will just be about his team and not John as much or something. Because I think they really want to get away from John as the face of Xbox.
But that's not
it's like
even his team. You know what I mean? Like
or what? Yeah. Or
so
whatever.
I don't know. Like there's nobody in this cast. It's like blue team, right?
Yeah.
So
it's not canon. So maybe that's the new blue team too.
Maybe, but like blue team was like together since he like the training programs and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm sure they could like, hey, can we borrow you for a little while, Master Chief? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that goes on. But here's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm thinking Halsey had her greasy palms all over those two dark suited Spartans, right? I'm thinking they're up to no good, potentially. Who knows? Trying to like track down Chief or something with Cortana. Who knows? Because it's I'm taking those dark suits as a sign of Oni, right? It's just a thought, but if they want to introduce Oni in a kind of a more sinister way with this, then they could do that using Spartans. And when you say conflict, that maybe the conflict is a little bit between Master Chief and Cortana and his fellow Spartans who were maybe sent after him or something, or maybe to retrieve Cortana, or who knows exactly what. Maybe they don't want him to destroy the ring or something because they want to investigate and use it, or who knows exactly what's going on, right? But like, what if that is behind this all? Because even Halsey is not always on the same page as the rest of Oni, right? So who knows exactly what's going on? But I think that that group of 3 Spartans plays a role, and I'm noticing that we don't see them and Master Chief in the 2 teaser trailers together. You know, makes me think that maybe that's sort of the conflict, and that way we can follow Master Chief and Cortana, right, and what they're doing, and we also get to follow this other story, and then maybe Cortana and Master Chief are talking a lot, and Master Chief explains his backstory, and they have little flashbacks and stuff like that.
That might make more sense because there's another character in the IMDb called Quan Ah. It's some chick. It says, like, if you go to the Halo Wikipedia thing, it says she's a outer, like, colony, like, human or whatever, and that she meets Chief. So maybe Chief is defending the outer colonies, and like the Oni people don't like that. Maybe they want him back in the front line, so they have to go and like fight Chief to get him back or something.
Maybe, yeah, and maybe he's kind of rogue at this point. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be the first time. You know, so maybe they had to go retrieve him in order to give him his medal in Halo 2.
He didn't. I don't think he actually didn't get a medal in Halo 2.
Oh, was it?
He was like
Sergeant Johnson.
He was like, yeah, he was like Chewbacca, where he's just like, cool.
Just stood there. Yeah. So like, okay, Halo cinematic universe. Now, again, this is just completely speculative, right? Is this the start of that? Using streaming services as a primary platform.
This is the biggest budget, most like, most consistent, like most like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but like the best like chance of any Halo show we have like of continuing is this one.
Yeah.
So
man, this has been like a promise from them for so long to have like a Halo movie or show. And
I remember as a kid, like when Halo 1 came out, they're like, in 10 years, we're getting a Halo movie in 2010, and it never came. I was looking for that for so long.
Yeah, it was going to be Peter Jackson was the executive producer. Hey, shout out to Crazy Louie in the chat. Happy birthday, sir. The happy birthday to you, Louie. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Louie.
Hope you had some great pineapple cake today, sir. That's awesome. Shout out to Vic the Click, Doom Reaper. Thank you guys for hanging out. Instead of playing Halo, like, yeah, thank you. Or maybe you are playing Halo, like everybody else, but I'm about to be. Yeah. So, all right. So going back to that Peter Jackson movie, right? Do you remember this, Psychonauts? Like, it was going to be a huge thing. They got Peter Jackson coming off the hills of Lord of the Rings and then King Kong, right? He was going to be the executive producer. It was huge news. Okay. They were going to team up. He got the Weta Studios in New Zealand, and they were going to use a lot of the facilities and stuff and then technology they had made for Lord of the Rings to bring Halo to life. They had trouble with the writer, I think, and then Peter Jackson hired the director, and it was Neil Blomkamp. And I remember, like, okay, who's this guy? Because at the time, nobody knew who he was because he hadn't really done anything yet. You know, he had done like a couple of movies, I think, but he hadn't gone on to do District 9 yet, or what's the other one he did with Matt Damon, or any of these other movies yet, right? And so he was kind of like a smaller name, and I remember seeing, like, having this vision of like what this Peter Jackson produced movie could be. And then I realized when the first little teaser type thing they did, which is like, it wasn't like a direct footage from it, but they kind of teased a little bit of what the feel of the movie was going to be like. And it's like, it's kind of weird, you know? Like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. Like, too, like,
Was it District 9 that it turned into?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what I'm gonna get to. Like, it had this like different, like ultra toned down, grounded feel to it, where it's like ultra dirty and just for the
It
sake
was
of it.
brown. Everything was like it was like a brown shade.
Yeah, everything is so brown, and it's like you didn't have all the like space and colors. You didn't have the Covenant. You just had these like stupid looking suits that people were wearing. And the cool thing was the warthog. They made a real warthog. That was awesome. I remember seeing that, but I remember being kind of like, ooh, I hope this turns out great. I'm gonna have faith because it's Halo. I'm gonna love it. But like, I wanted that like epic Peter Jackson thing, and what I was seeing here was more of like a District 9 type thing, which is eventually they used because it got canceled. I think either budget got too high or creative differences or whatever. For some reason, it kept getting pushed back, delayed. They had issues, and then it ended up getting canceled. And they had all these props, all these things they had done, right? All these things they had made. They used that. Peter Jackson got together with Neil Blomkamp and made District 9, which went on to be a success, like a very popular movie, right? A very successful movie. But man, could you imagine like if that was sort of the vision for Halo? Like,
I don't even know. I can't even see it. Like it's
because all of his
No,
movies have that feel, have that vibe, right? You know, he's a great director. It just doesn't fit with Halo for me, you know?
No, I think they took what they, because from what I remember is that what outfits and costumes that they were going to use for Halo, they reused and modified it for District 9. So like the Covenant was supposed to be those alien creatures, whatever they were.
Yeah, they just made them look different.
Yeah. So I think it almost felt like Nubasa. That's what.
Yeah.
Because isn't Nubasa in like
Africa,
South Africa?
Yeah.
So that's where this was taking place anyway. So all that would have been like perfect. So that would have been like Nubasa was what? Was it Halo 3?
It was in Halo 2 and 3.
2 and 3. So it could have been that timeline for the movie. So it definitely it could have been really good, but they couldn't, of course they can't use anything Halo, so you know they had to change everything. And
yeah, I think they might have been going for more of an ODST like story movie with that, to be honest. Like
it could. I don't think it was going to focus on Master Chief at all. I think ODST, it would perfectly use,
because at that time like ODST was getting a lot of like, they were like really promoting ODST in the background and like stuff.
I just don't understand, like, okay, all these years people are asking for a Halo movie and people are thinking big space epic with like following Chief and, you know, all this stuff, and you come out and like you put it in you want to put it in like in just the desert in like Africa, you know what I mean? Like, and like that's what all the vibe we got, and that seems like pretty much.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you spent a lot of time in the game there.
Yes, but following Chief and stuff, it's just, I don't know, it comes across like different. I don't think they could fulfill the vision, and that may be why they got canceled. But like, I think it could have gone a completely different direction if Peter Jackson had directed it, right? If he was like the more hands-on guy at the time. And for me, I feel like
he would have been more fantasy though. I don't know if it would have worked.
Yeah, but like the fantasy like works well with the Covenant and the Prophets and stuff, right?
That's true.
Like the alien, and you can come up with like ideas like behind their lore more, and you got these different kinds of creatures and stuff. You know what I mean? I can imagine them having fun with that. But like this ultra grounded thing, like I want something that goes like to the level of Star Trek and Star Wars, but like Halo. You know, like could you imagine if all of Star Wars was on Tatooine?
Well, you got like 6 movies.
well, let's say the entire Star Wars one. They never left the planet. Yeah. You know what I mean? They never went on their adventure. They never followed Luke Skywalker. They just like shot each other on Tatooine. I don't know. It'd be okay, but like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be Star Wars, you know. I if I could pick a director, all right. So I'm shouting out because if there's a Halo movie in the works, right? Because that if this HCU thing is real, Denis Villeneuve, please do the Halo movie. Because you want to see space epic, you think of Dune, right? And the different scenery and settings they had in that movie, Blade Runner, you got the city and stuff there, you got man that I think he do like Prometheus too or Alien, yeah. I mean,
see, that's what I was thinking. Maybe like Ridley Scott, like maybe go more of a horror route and like maybe like make the actual Covenant more like horror enemies instead of just like.
Well, imagine if he did the Flood.
Yeah,
that would be insane because I mean you get like that whole John Carpenter the thing with the Flood, because it takes over the host, the parasite takes over the host, and definitely there's so much that they could do with the Halo universe, like so many, and you have so many different genres. You could do horror, sci-fi, of course, and
you could do war movies. You could do like anything.
Yeah, well, even a love story between Cortana and Chief.
Yeah, it'd be like that movie AI, but with like Chief and Cortana staying in a hotel in New Mombasa together, and they're having this awkward conversations. I just don't know what to do because I can't
touch you with hard light technology.
Oh my god.
Cortana, we needed to go get the hard light. I don't know, man. Like it would be interesting, Now there are lots of stories to tell. So you could follow you could follow Lasky, you know what I mean? Which they've done before in some of these some of this stuff. Halsey, just follow Halsey around. She's always up to something fucking crazy. Like what? Like
kidnapping kids?
Yeah, you could make a whole like series or movie about the
like a mystery or something.
Origin of the Spartan program, right? Like because that predates the Alien Covenant War. That's not why the Spartans were originally created. Originally created to deal with the outer colonies and all that kind of stuff, and deal with like the uprisings and stuff like that, right? That they felt like was going to get out of control, and they felt like it was going to be a huge war, and they needed to make sure that they had like the ultimate warriors to be able to keep everything in check, right? So they started building the Spartan program and doing the most crazy stuff because they felt like that's what they needed to do for humanity. And in a weird, twisted way, she ended up being right because without her creation and Chief, like they're fucked, right? So it's kind of like I always look at it like almost like Jedis, because they're taken as kids and then they're brought there to like train and their whole life and dedicate to this philosophy. It's a whole messed up thing, right? But I think that in a weird way, she ended up being right, which sucks, but also like they had to do what they had to do. Like without her, there would be no humanity, right? So I would love to follow that story as well. It'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Keys, you could Captain Keys, Miranda Keys. In fact, one of the what was it? Follow Reach. Keys was with Halsey during the origin of the freaking Spartan program.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, man, I would love to see that.
I mean, there's so much like backstory stuff in the books that
Buck
people don't know. Yeah.
The cast Nathan Fillion, follow Buck, and even his latest story, they keep doing interesting things with him. Like he's not part of the same. He's not part of Team Osiris now, supposedly. Like is what I saw. Like he's like part of some other group or something that was on the Halopedia thing. I forget what it was.
Because no one liked Osiris, so they canceled that team.
Yeah. But like he joined like back with his original team or something. But like he's a Spartan now, so how does that work? You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Well, later on, they started allowing people to just like go into the Spartan program and train. They didn't have to like take kids.
Yeah, but they still do like some kind of augments because like he was way bigger than he was, right, in the original, in like ODST. So like I'm wondering what all the program entails, and, and like you said too, like the even the Spartan that trains us in the multiplayer in Halo Infinite, like in the trailer for the game, they or for the video they show
Spartan
opening.
Academy or whatever.
Yeah, they show her like being like rescued by Spartans, and then it inspires her to become one herself, right? So, man, you could tell her story. I would like to see that. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much. They keep making awesome characters, dude. There's so many stories to tell. ODST, freaking badasses. You know what I mean? They tell their story. I think of them kind of like the Navy SEALs of space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can't really talk about it too much. You know, they're up to no good, and they can create new things too. What's the one thing you want to see at it if there was a Halo cinematic universe, Psycho?
I just try to tell the stories of some of the plan where they kind of touch on in the game. Really dive into those with this with either a movie or within this TV show. You know, we get a little bit of, you know, like they can go back, tell the Covenant story, where they came from, how they, you know, where they decided to, you know, they thought the Halo rings were
created by gods.
Yeah.
You know, really tell that story, and they can do Forerunner stuff. They can go just so much. They can even touch on like Gravemind, because that's a whole collective of Flood that makes up Gravemind. So like, how did he, you know, they can even do his origin stories, like how he was like the first infected Flood, and then how he got to where he is, what we saw in Halo 2.
That's what I was kind of thinking, was like maybe they do like a story with like what we're kind of familiar with, but then they go back in time to like when the Forerunners were at their peak and humans were at their peak, and then like how the Forerunners attacked the ancient humans, and then the I can't remember what they're called, the
like little flashback moments or something.
Like have a whole like story like of the ancient like war between humans and Forerunners and all that stuff, and like how the universe actually started.
Yeah, they could do that too. That'd be really cool, because I mean, for at least Halo fans, we would eat that shit up, because you know, anything Halo done right, you know, would be applauded across the board. You know, so as long as they give us more new lore stuff that we, you know, if we have, a lot of people haven't read the books and haven't really dived into, you know,
precursors. Thank you, BACfromthedead. That's the word I was trying to think of.
Oh, precursors. Yeah, they can definitely touch on that and give us. Now we get a visual stimulation from the TV show, and it really ties in because people like that kind of stuff. You know, if you get a good storyline, a good story to tell, and you know, we get to see it unfold before our eyes, that I think would be greatly applauded within the community. Now when it comes to the general public, you have to, and that's where, you know, us Halo fans might not like the direction they might go because of the general public, because they're not going to be like, well, who is this, who's that, we don't know, you know, they don't know, because
you see Gravemind is just a big tentacle monster, like what the fuck is that?
Yeah, they were exactly like, is this my little shots of horror, like what the hell is that? You know, so
you got to build up,
as long as they have to build up to it. If they do it right and they don't spend too much time on fluff and just like they you know, because sometimes shows like really dive into something and it's like, why are they focusing on this when there's other things that they can focus on that really
or
unfolds
they
the whole
keep
story.
something going for way too long just because it's initially
Yes,
successful.
exactly.
Like Negan.
Baby Yoda. Oh,
Baby Yoda too. Yeah, like I was saying Negan because that Negan like storyline took like 3 seasons away from The Walking Dead. Like it
Right?
could've- Oh my
Yeah.
god. You know,
that killed that show
Yeah.
for me.
it did too. Like
Yeah.
it was great at
Negan,
first.
it's like,
Oh my god, it was amazing. When they killed Glenn, I was like, holy shit, this
Yeah.
is crazy. You know, all this stuff. But like then it's just like, okay, this is the next season too. I liked the whole thing where it's like one villain per season, you know, and you kind of introduce a new thing, but they kept that going so long. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I feel that whole 3-season arc with Negan, I'm like, and then he's like in the fucking cell and like, we need you to help us, like, really,
And then he's the main
really?
good guy now. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, I like him in the show, but like he kind of took over the show too much, right? Like it was mainly about Rick and Carl
he was
and all them.
he was that alpha guy, you know.
Yeah.
He was that character, that type of character. So I see how they kind of got, but like,
yeah, it was too popular
anyways.
to start with, so they just started. They wrote it to the ground. Yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah, they did.
And
I just hope they don't do that with Halo, TV show, or with them. You know, if they spin off with a movie, and it's like, why are they doing a movie about this? You know, give us. You know, they can appease everybody. You know.
Yeah, that's like my main concern with what we've seen so far is like, is it just going to be a generic space shooter like show? It's like
with Master Chief in it.
Yeah,
I hope that's not the case at all, because for as long, like we have all said, we've been wanting a TV show or movie of Halo, and now we're finally getting it. And if they go and just don't do justice by this, a lot of people will be upset.
Yeah.
And
Halo fans are picky, you know. We'll see.
As we've seen in the past couple weeks.
It's you know, it's a series that we love. It's a series that, you know, to me, I'm with the Halo Infinite, like I know this is not, you know, the movie or the TV show, but the game itself is solid. It's freaking great. The core mechanics of the game is with multiplayer is awesome. I'm about to jump on campaign here in a little bit before I go to work, but if what I felt from multiplayer, we have that in the campaign, it's gonna be it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I just, you know, and from, you know, other people that in the community have, because they had the game a month early, things that they have said, you can tell that this is going to be an not episodic, but it's going to be an ongoing telling campaign. So we're going to get more campaign DLCs throughout the stretch of Halo.
Yeah, I think they're going the Destiny route. Where Destiny, like every year, adds a new story, like DLC.
Yeah. They just better include all of it in Game Pass. You know what I mean?
If they,
otherwise,
more, of course, I think we will. I don't think they're going to charge, but if we get that, and it, you know, kind of tells us more about, you know, splinters off of what we got in this campaign we're going to be experiencing today. If they splinter off, fantastic, you know. And I hope they take storytelling like that and apply it with the show. Like, so if they tell a story, and then like the season after then the following season, it could splinter off to something else, and then but come back to it to tie it all together, to, you know, if they're going to wrap it up with a bow, and that's how it ends, and then they tell another story, however they're going to do, you know, if it's going to be a multiple season TV show, or is it just a one season, that's it. Well, depends on the success of
I swear to God.
Right. It's one season, 9 episodes.
Give me your, like, so real quick, everybody, I'm about to play Halo Infinite in 30 minutes here on the channel. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to have the game playing. right? Because I don't honestly I don't want too many distractions because it's like the story means actually a lot to me. Like I don't want to like
It
sit there
does.
and talk, you know what I mean, and, and interact because I just want to focus on it. But I do want to stream it, and yeah, I want you guys to be able to hang out in the chat and talk and stuff. And if there's downtime, I might take a second and stuff and acknowledge some things. But my plan is to just say hello and then sit there and just play the game. I won't be on camera. I'll have my mic off for the most part. Just pure gameplay, right? And I haven't really done that much, but it's kind of be a new thing. So in 30 minutes, I'm going to start playing. So if you want to check out my experience for the first time with the Halo Infinite campaign, tune into that. But I want to know, like, while Jasper also tells us everywhere where we can find him, I want to know your overall early impression because you have been playing today.
So you can check me out at Jasper_Gaming_ on Twitter and Jasper Gaming on YouTube. I do just kind of gaming videos on whatever game, mostly Halo right now. As for Halo goes itself, this is like I've been anticipating this game for like I don't even count Halo 5. Like this game is like I've been waiting since Halo 3 for me. So like this is like a 15-year game I've been waiting on. So it's just like
I feel
I don't know. It's like it's like that moment you sat down in the theaters to watch Endgame. That's what I'm feeling playing this game. You're like, wow. This is the build up. This is like I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, I'm hoping we have that moment at some point during this game, like Endgame, that really hits you. From what I've seen on Twitter, people really like the intro cutscenes and stuff. So I'm hoping that gives me that moment. So we'll see. Yeah, but check out Jasper's channel, everybody. Are you gonna end up streaming it at all, you think? Or
I might just do like some fun, like mess around with the physics or something like someday. But
yeah, some different kinds of stuff. Right on. Yeah, check out Jasper's channel. He's got lots of awesome stuff on there. Jasper Gaming, his channel is in the description below. And hey, Psycho.
Yes, sir.
You're about to play. I'm excited for you as well. So we'll get to discuss it later in like the DMs. But you're about to go to work as well. So besides work and playing Halo, where can everybody else find you, sir?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to the chat for coming out tonight. You guys were awesome. Jasper, Mav, you guys are like family, so it's awesome to always hang out with you guys on FunPop. I know we didn't get to it last week because Thanksgiving, but
that was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Was it? Holy shit. Anyways, you can find me everywhere here Wednesdays at 7 o'clock on FunPop, and you can find me on Friday on Xbox Ultimate, where I definitely think we're going to be talking about Halo. Again.
Oh yeah,
probably not.
But we I just started up the campaign, and that intro freaking scene, just the boot up, from the start. God, I wish we can get a wallpaper. But anyways, you can find me everywhere on social media. Psychonauts8. I have a YouTube channel called Gamer Chat Podcast. Gamer Chat's one word. I'll eventually start putting more videos out. I just been dealing with a lot of stuff, and with work, it's just been hard to get some videos up. But I will eventually start getting that going once life is simmered down a little bit. But thanks for having me on, butter.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. And thank you both guys for joining as always on FunPop. And like Psycho said, yeah, Friday night we're gonna be talking a lot about Halo because we'll
anytime you want to talk about Halo, I'm down for it.
Hey, come on, bro, you're there. We're gonna be talking a lot about Halo. We're gonna be talking about our experiences, like because we'll have had a chance to play at that point. So is the rest of the community. So there won't be as many like spoilery things to worry about right now. We're not gonna spoil the ending or anything like that, but like just overall impressions and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
this is what a 20-hour game plus.
Yeah, something like that. And also we will be talking about the Game Awards and all the reveals and everything.
Tomorrow night.
Friday night is gonna be insane because we're gonna know everything, right? We're gonna know how great Halo is. We're gonna know what was revealed at the Game Awards, what won, what didn't, I don't care about that, but what was revealed at the Game Awards. And then also, you get to watch it live with me and Pong Soul tomorrow night. If you are interested at all and you want to watch the Game Awards tomorrow, tune in here on Fun Speculation. We'll watch it live with me and Pong. We are going to co-stream that sucker and have a blast. Just sitting there reacting. It's a special edition of PM in the PM because it happens to be at the same time that our show was going to be. So we just said, hey, let's just do this sucker. Let's watch it live and give our reactions to the show with the audience. So tune in tomorrow night to PM in the PM for the Game Awards. Appreciate everybody who's tuned into this show tonight. And I'll see you around. And hey, also, FSPs on Saturday. I don't want to forget that because we'll also be talking PlayStation, Nintendo reveals on that show as well. So, hey, everybody, have a great one. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on Zeta Halo.
Ooh.
Later, everybody.
See ya.
FunPop.